Good evening, everybody. My name is Albert Spiegel. If you have not met me yet or been on a Tech Tuesday, I'm the Assistant Principal for Instructional Technology and the Dean of Underclassmen. It is my pleasure to welcome you once again to another episode of Tech Tuesday. Tonight we're going to talk about a few things. I'm changing the schedule a little bit. We're going to talk primarily tonight about devices and Apple IDs, and I will explain to you why we're not talking about Blackboard momentarily. But we'll go over a few things, and we'll talk about Apple IDs, and then a little bit about your devices, right? So let me, what I did do is I put the slides for tonight in the chat, if you want to download them. Let me change my screen, and we are going to, a couple of reminders. First, that you can find previous episodes on our BCTV YouTube page, and the address is on your screen. You can find the last two episodes of Tech Tuesday. They're up there, and this one will get up there at some point in the next few days. So that's there for you. Another reminder about ID cards: if you have not submitted a picture, please do that immediately. You could also, when you come in to pick up your laptop, you could do it then. If you want to do it then, that's fine too. But it's got to get done, so we have a picture for you for the first day of school. These are the dates as a reminder for device pickup and drop off. If you are using a personal device and you need it configured, you can drop off during these times, and it will not be. It's not a immediate turnaround. You'll have to leave it, but please make sure you back up anything before you submit devices for configuration. Just a quick note, I'll go back to the slide in a second, but the front semicircle is getting resealed this week. So if you are coming for pickup tomorrow or Thursday, please enter through the front wing, which is the on the screen where I have the red arrow. It's towards the back of the main parking lot. That door will be open, so if you park past the cafeteria on the left, you'll see the front wing door. And that's where you can enter, and then you'll see the signs that'll direct you to the Technology Support Center where you can do your device pickup. Okay, so I mean, you could walk in the front door if you want. There's no parking in the front semicircle, so you'd have to park somewhere in the main lot in order to get in there. Right. So these are our, as I said, these are the times for pickup. We will tomorrow be doing our first afternoon, evening pickup from 4 to 8. So we'll have our usual 9 to 1 and then 4 to 8. And that'll continue for the next 2 weeks after this. Okay. If you have questions or anything about pickup, throw that in the chat. I know Eamon is floating in cyberspace. He's in the room, and he's part of my team, and he'll be able to answer any of those questions as I go along. Okay. So I want to mention why I'm not talking about Blackboard, and this is a crude diagram just so you all are aware. This year, or towards in the spring, I found out that the company that, the middleware company between PowerSchool and Blackboard is no longer supporting PowerSchool or Blackboard, one of the two. So we have a new company, and we have no problem getting data from PowerSchool to the middleware. We're working out some details on getting the data out of the middleware into Blackboard. So they tell me that hopefully user account stuff will be done this week, and then we'll be moving forward with class enrollments. That'll be towards the end of the month. So hopefully I will have information out to you about submitting summer assignments, certainly by our next Tech Tuesday. But don't worry, it's not late. No worries. But just so you know, that's where the holdup is. It's right in the middle there. So hopefully we'll get that resolved quickly, and like I said, you'll get information from me in terms of where we're going and directions and whatnot for summer summer assignments. Right. So let me go back here. I just want to mention a couple things about devices before I talk about Apple IDs. If you've gotten your laptop already and your iPad. I know on your laptop you're prompted for an ID and a password, which you should have been given that information when you receive your devices. Your username is it's the same as your email. So mine would be aspiegelreally27. It's my first initial, my full last name and last digits of my graduation year. And then my password is a series of 8 random numbers or letters and numbers. And you will be given that when you receive your devices. Okay, that's how you'll access the laptop. And we'll talk more about accessing, Wi-Fi and all that in school. We'll talk about that later in the month. But what I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about, and I'll demo it for you, is creating your Apple ID. So what you're going to do for your Bergen devices is create an Apple ID with your Bergen Catholic email address. Okay? Although I'm sure a lot of you have Apple IDs created already for your personal devices, we want you to use your Bergen email for your Apple ID. All right, so I'm going to walk you through how to do that, just so you have an idea. So let me change this over to my demo. So I am on the screen I'm on now, or the website is appleid.apple.com, and I'm going to create my own Apple ID because I do not have one with this email address. I'm going to lie about my birthday. I'll make myself older than I am. The Apple ID is going to be my Bergen Catholic email address, so I'm aspiegel27 at bergencatholichs.org. And then I'm going to pick a password. My password should be whatever Apple will let me, or whatever they will allow it to be. In terms of a phone number, I'm going to use the work cell number because I'll need to validate. I have to validate somehow. So you could either use a text or a phone call, and I'm going to use my work cell phone number just so I can get a text. Okay, I will come down here and hit continue. I can never put these characters in correctly. Never, ever, ever. Continue. Okay. So now I will get a verification to my email address, which I just happen to have open over here. And I will be able to verify my email address, 038610. Oops. 0386. Whoops. 10. Continue. And now it's going to send me a text to my phone, and that is 068457. Okay. Now I now created my Bergen Catholic Apple ID. Okay. So I now have Bergen Catholic Apple ID, and what I'm going to do with my devices, I'm going to sign in with that Apple ID to my devices. The primary reason for doing this is so if you lose your devices, you can go to either find my MacBook or find my iPad, and we can find them. Okay, I find that is the best way to find your devices. Okay, if we go that route. Okay, so I am going to go to System Preferences. I don't think I'm signed in with an Apple ID. If I am, I will. Oh, I'm not. Okay. So I'm going to click where it says System Preferences. I'm going to click Sign In. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in my Apple ID and my password that I just created. Okay. So I will put in here aspiegel 27 at Bergen CatholicHS.org, and I will put in my password that I just created. Right. And now it's going to again confirm that I am who I am. 034 630. Okay, I'll agree to the terms and conditions. And that should be fine. We'll try that again. Let's go back and... Oh, it's looking for my Mac password. Okay, not sure why, but I'll put that in there. For some reason, it didn't like this the first time. So, okay, there we go. So now I have my, you see on the left here, I have my sign in, and it's going to allow me to allow Find My Mac to use location. I definitely want to allow this, okay, because I want to be able to find my MacBook in case for some reason I lose it, okay. Now to verify this worked, under Apple ID. Okay, so my device, and when I click on my device here, it says Find My Mac is on. Okay, so that's what I want. I want to have my device enabled so that if there's for some reason that I lose it, I can find it. Right. Now you'll do the same thing for your iPad. I do not have my my iPad in front of me, but it's the same procedure. Once you sign into your iPad, you go to Settings, and you will sign in with that same Apple ID, and then make sure Find My is turned on. All right. So when you go into your Apple ID, you'll be able to see the devices. So let me just refresh this. I'll show you what I mean. So when I go to Devices, now notice here in my Apple ID, I have one device associated with my account, which is my MacBook Pro, right? And once you do that with your iPad, you'll get the same thing. You'll have two devices, okay? This is not if you don't have your devices yet, it's not a big deal, all right? It's just, that's something I want you to do really as soon as you get the device. So if, God forbid, it gets lost, you misplace it, we can find it. As long as it's connected to an internet, it's connected to the internet anywhere, you'll be able to find it, all right? So that's, that's pretty much doing the big setup in terms of the Apple ID. So it's creating your Apple ID with your Bergen Catholic email address, and then signing in with your on your MacBook and on your iPad with the Bergen Catholic Apple ID. All right. Let me just go to the chat for a moment before I keep going. I don't know if Eamon's got everything. Let's see. You're using your BC email. Yep. How do I know a password is logged into my laptop? You'll get in your account information. That's good. Eamon's got them both. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about, I just want to talk about a few apps for your iPad. Okay, so there are three things once you get your iPad that I would like you to download for your iPad. The first is Exemplify. Exemplify is our computer-based testing software that we use on the iPad. Okay, you will get credentials in September. There's no rush on those, but I want you to download that app so you have it ready. And you'll just have to log in once you send you the credentials. So that's the first one. The second one is Blackboard. This is our learning management system. Again, just download the app and you'll have it ready to go. And the third one I'd like you to download is PowerSchool Mobile. And this is good, especially for your schedule. And even if you have a, for your cell phone too, students, I find a lot of students have PowerSchool Mobile on their phones, because you can look at your weekly schedule and it'll show you your rotating bell schedule of what class meets when and at what time and all that. Those three I'd like you to download. I'll just put them back up again. It's Exemplify. All right, this is the first one. Blackboard, which is the second one, and PowerSchool Mobile, which is the third one. Okay. You can sign into PowerSchool. You have your credentials already, and the other two you'll be getting your credentials. I did get a question, a PDF with the information from this meeting. I did put the slides in the chat room when I started the Zoom, so you can go ahead and download that PDF file with the slides, and then I'll send out the video hopefully in the next day or two once I get it processed and all that. So you'll definitely have it hopefully sooner rather than later. Right? What else? Let's see. Oh, just a couple other things that I want to talk about in terms of policy before I get to questions. Once you have your devices, you shouldn't bring them to the cafeteria. Okay? You are taking a big risk if you bring your device to the cafeteria. While you may be totally in control of how you eat and drink, others may not be. Okay? Your bag might get stepped on. Someone might spill something. You might spill something. I really prefer you do not bring your laptop to the cafeteria. If you do that, you're doing it at your own risk. And Apple Care Plus will not cover water damage. If it looks like to be intentional, any type of intentional fluid damage, it will not cover it. Okay? So you want to leave your device in your locker, at best in your bag. Don't leave it on the table, certainly with food and beverage on the same table. When you are not using your laptop, if you're at gym, if you're at lunch, if you are doing after-school activities, sports, lock it in your academic locker. Okay? I can't stress that enough. I've never, now I'm going on year 20, I've never had anything go missing from a locked locker. Okay? So your laptop will fit. I know it's kind of tough to fit your bag in your locker, but your laptop and your iPad will definitely fit. So please make sure you do that. You take the time to lock your device in your locker. Your coaches, if you're traveling and you get back late, they'll be able to let you into the building. You'll be able to go back to your locker and get your stuff. Okay? It's really important that you lock your stuff, and really not just your devices, but if it's your phone, your wallet, anything that's important, you should lock it. Okay? Please do not attempt to change any settings on either device. It is important that you leave the configurations the way they are. I understand that you might have a need to put a VPN on your device, or so when you can you can access things that we have blocked in the school building. It's not necessary, and it just leads to more problems. Okay, so leave the device the way it is. It's your school laptop. You want to do that stuff on your personal devices, go right ahead, but not on your school devices. Right? Please do not leave your device unattended. Okay, before you leave class or wherever you are, just take 3 seconds and make sure you have your laptop, your iPad, and the chargers for both. If you have the chargers with you. Okay, please do not. Please take responsibility for your devices. Okay? I've had a lot of times, and I have a lot of experience both doing the technology and also as the dean, where I thought I left it here, but I didn't leave it here, and I didn't have my name on it, and it just becomes a kind of a wild goose chase. Okay? So please make sure you have your devices with you. Right? And if for some reason you misplace your devices, retrace your steps, and see if you can find them. Certainly, you can ask. Your first stop is the IT office for a lost device, but as long as you do that check, look in your backpack before you leave class or whatever, make sure you have your stuff. You're in good shape. Okay. Please bring both devices fully charged every day. Now, your battery will last you the whole day if you're not watching video, you're not playing games, whatever. If you find that you are losing power, if you're using it heavily, you're going to have to charge some point during the day. You could certainly, if you want, use an external battery, one that's strong enough. Sometimes that helps, depends, because not every desk is near an outlet in the classroom, so that's helpful. But generally, if you bring your device fully charged, you should be fine. Take care of your devices. Someone's paying good money for these devices, okay? And make sure you take care of them. Keep them in a sturdy, not a flimsy backpack, a backpack that actually has a sleeve for a device, and then also for the tablet. Put a case. The cases are up to you, but certainly for the iPad, I would definitely I would choose a rugged case, Now, if you don't want to put a case on there, hey, that's fine, but it's more susceptible to being damaged. Okay, we don't guarantee that we have loaners. Okay, we do have a limited supply if a student's laptop is being serviced or something's not working right. But if you forget your laptop at home, we really don't have the ability to to cater to that. All right, so keep that in mind that you need to keep your stuff in good working order. Right? I'm going to go back to the chat. It looks like Eamon has answered every question for me. I'm not sure what were an email password. The email password, Jack, you can email helpdesk@bergencatholic.org and they can do a reset for you. The iPad is used during the school day for two things: as your content reader, so for all your e-textbooks, and you'll also use it for taking tests. We use ExamSoft or Examplify as our primary computer-based testing software, and you use the iPad for that as well. You may find you're also using the iPad if a teacher wants you to record video, record audio for something. It's easier to use than using the laptop, but primarily for those two reasons. The pen is up to you. There's nothing that says you have to. You might, some students enjoy taking notes on the iPad. If you want to write with it with a pen, with the Apple Pencil, I should say, go right ahead. Any other questions if you want to ask or put them in the chat? The ID, can the picture be white uniform? It doesn't. The shirt, ideally if it's red, but if it's white, that's fine. As long as it's a headshot. So for, if I could be crude for a second, like this is a headshot. A picture like this is no good. Okay, we want to be able to see your student's face. All right, so more face is better. So the shirt, ideally it's red or white, but it really doesn't matter. Am I allowed to get a screen protector in case for the? Yes, you can. Doesn't matter the type. Doesn't matter I think personally, like an OtterBox Defender or something that's rugged, a Griffin. I think the Survivor. Something like that. Some students actually use a Bluetooth keyboard. A case, there's Logitech with a Bluetooth keyboard. It depends on what you feel comfortable with. But, if you're prone to dropping things and you're prone to swinging your backpack and forgetting what's in it, a rugged case might not be a bad idea. The ParaSchool account will let me log in. That is a question for the help desk. Either that or Eamon, if you want to take that one, that's fine. But yeah, if you're having any issues with any account stuff, you can email helpdesk@bergencatholic.org, and they would definitely be able to assist you. And also, when you come in for your laptop too, if you have questions, you could always ask someone in the tech support center. They can help you if you need some one-on-one support. That's fine too. It is mandatory to use the Bergen Catholic Apple ID. Yes, I want you to use that and separate it from your personal stuff. This way, we could always get access to your Apple ID because we're able to access your Bergen email. Okay, as opposed to using personal stuff where you may not be able to access that. It's really important that you use your Bergen email address. So yes, it is mandatory. All good questions. Other questions that I can answer? If anybody else is thinking, I'm going to just confirm the next date for our next Tech Tuesday, which I believe it is the 22nd of August at 7 o'clock. That will be our next Tech Tuesday. Am I allowed to change the password on my computer from the starting one? That is an Active Directory password. If you want to change it, that's fine. Because we could always go back and reset it if we have to. So that's fine. Any other questions? Any other questions that I can answer? Will the students need headphones? Not necessarily. It's not a bad thing to have. I'm certainly, I've been a fan of AirPods for a while. I don't necessarily think you need to go out and buy anything, super expensive. Some teachers will allow students to listen to music while they're working, or if they're watching something, you know, you could get a $10 pair of earbuds. You could get anything you want. We don't make it mandatory, unless a teacher you need it for something or other. But any set of headphones or any type of wireless, AirPods or whatever, that's all fine. Can students use backpacks during the day to carry? Yes, they can use. I would say 99% of our students use. Well, I shouldn't say that. 100% of our students will use a backpack. I very rarely will I see a student carrying stuff without a backpack. So yeah, they could, use a backpack. Some might use a bag for their gym stuff on days when they have gym. So yeah, I'd say a decent backpack. I've been a backpack person my entire career. Swiss Gear has been my thing probably for the last, I don't know, 6-7 years or so. They make a good product. Targus makes a good product. LL Bean or Land's End. So there's a bunch out there that are good ones. Any other questions that I could answer for anybody? I can't find Blackboard as a keyword to help me find. Blackboard on the App Store. Let me look first, and then I'll pull it up. Let's see. iOS Blackboard Learn. Oh, it's actually okay. That's why it's called Black. That's an old slide. It looks like this. It's called Blackboard Learn, and they're now Anthology is the company that bought Blackboard. So what you see on your screen now is the iOS app that you would need for Blackboard. Sorry, it looks different. Summer assignments. As I mentioned before, once I work out the middleware with Blackboard. I will send instructions on how to submit. What will happen is you'll go on to Blackboard and you'll see summer classes for each. So you'll see, for example, if you did the Algebra 1 summer assignment, there'll be a class that says 2023 Summer Reading Algebra 1. And you'll submit there. And so forth. Okay? So you'll see that. I'm hoping next week. And I apologize for the delay, but I'm kind of waiting on like I said, the company who does the middleware. If you finished it, don't worry about it. Just hold on to it. I believe Mr. McElhenney's date was the first day of school, so you should be fine. Don't worry about it. It will not take you longer than 2 minutes to submit it once we have that information. Are you allowed to print or send scans? Yeah, if you're doing the math, I know some of the math and science stuff you might have had to write. So scanning and sending it as a PDF is acceptable. Just make sure it's a PDF file so that our teachers can open it. That's fine. Checklist, the tech is completed. I don't have a checklist, but what I can do, I think what we'll do is the fifth Tech Tuesday, which would be the 29th of August, is what we'll do is I'll go back through everything. We'll go back and do a run through. But right now you have Paraschool. If you're a student, you have Naviance. And then your Apple ID. Okay. And eventually, hopefully next time we talk, you'll have Blackboard. But yeah, I'm going to go over that. The last Tech Tuesday we have will be a synopsis of everything that we've done. Okay. Any other questions? Keep them coming. This is. I will also say too, if there's not a tech question, if there's a question I can answer as the dean of underclassmen, I'd be more than happy to take one or two of those as well. I am still planning on doing something student life related on that last Wednesday in August. I'm hoping to just to talk about anything non-tech. We'll teach you reviewing how to use different apps. Teachers will generally, depending on what their, yes, the short answer is yes. We will review probably on the first day of school. We generally do a little bit of orientation with technology. The first day of school for freshmen is the Thursday. That's the 7th or the 8th. It's the 7th, right? 10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah. September 7th is the first day for freshmen. That's your orientation day. And during that time, we'll go over expectations. We'll go over some technology. What I also did last year was I had created a whole bunch of videos and posted them, in mid to end August with information on how to access different systems and whatnot. So I'll be doing that again this year. So in addition to what we review on that first day, and then depending on the class and the teacher, there are some that will, if they have to go over things, they will, depending how they, how their classes are structured. Is it okay to have personal account? No, you're using your Bergen Catholic email address to connect to your MacBook and your iPad. You're going to create an Apple ID with your Bergen Catholic email address. Any other questions that I can answer? I can't sign into Naviance, and I emailed the help desk and no response. Okay. Let me send your. Let me send a text to Eamon right now, so we take care of that tomorrow. Okay. So I sent that to Eamon. Eamon, I just sent you a text with a name of someone who can't access Naviance. So today or tomorrow, let's get to him. A tad under 200 in the freshman class, like 190s or so. I think that's the last number I've seen. So it's a good sized crowd, and we really don't know until the first day of an exact count, but we're somewhere in that area, 195-ish or so. Any other questions that I can answer? Chat, or if you want to just throw them out verbally, you can do that too. Well, again, the help desk email, helpdesk@bergencatholic.org. If you are having issues with accounts and whatnot, and again, when you come in to pick up your devices, you could also, that would also be a good time to get some tech support if you need it. The Student Success Center, that is the right name. The Student Success Center is for students that have documented learning disabilities. So either an IEP or a 504. And the way that works in the freshman year, actually really the way it works is that instead of going to phys ed 3 days out of the 7-day cycle, you'll go to the Success Center. And you can work on, depending on what your individual needs are, will determine the kind of support you need. But it's for students who have documented learning disabilities with either an IEP or a 504. When I turn in summer oh wow, everything's kind of, let's see. When I turn in, where'd that one go? When I turn in summer assignments, you receive confirmation schools receive them. You will not receive a confirmation, but you'll be able to see on Blackboard that you've submitted it. So you won't get a confirmation, but you'll see that it's submitted. Should we get iPad covers? That's up to you. That include a keyboard and a pencil. That's up to you. Correct. Yeah, students without a documented plan. The SSC is only for students with documented disabilities. Mrs. Beth Walther is the assistant principal for student services, and she would be able to answer any questions related to SSC. I'm going to put her email in the chat. Make sure that I send that to everybody in meeting. Mrs. Beth Walter ewalter@bergencatholic.org. And that is SSC questions. I can answer them pretty decently, but she would be able to answer much better than I. I could put, okay, hold on. For uniforms, aside from the polos and quarter zip, anything else needs to be purchased. There is a gym uniform. There are gym clothes. There is, on mass days, we require students to wear a blue blazer. So a blue blazer, which you could, you really don't have to go anything, expensive, because the boys grow over 4 years. So you'll need that. Our first mass will be the Mass of the Holy Spirit, which is generally towards the end of September. And that's a shirt, tie, and jacket day. There's another question that I want to answer. Clarify. Would you put device? Yes, I will put up the dates for devices. Let me just find them real quick, and I will put them. Oops. One more. Okay. Here are the device dates. Who do we hand in student physical forms? Those can be sent to the dropped off in the main office, and there's a bin for the nurse. So if you want to hand those in, the 23-24 calendar is out. Well, the one-page calendar is out. So I'm almost positive I have that on this computer. Let me check, and if I do, I'll drop it in the chat. Let's see. I swore I had that somewhere. I thought I did. Maybe that's on my laptop. Let's see. If I don't have it here, I might have it. Let me just check on my school laptop. I might have it here, because I'll drop it in the chat. Just trying to remember where I have it saved. I only looked at it recently too, which makes me think. That's it, right? Yep. Okay. So let me copy this here. And then I'm going to drop that calendar in the chat. This is our one-page calendar, which I just put in the chat. You can download that. Yes, you can set the password for your iPad if you want to change it. But again, if something happens and we need to wipe it to restore it, we don't recover lost data. The live calendar that updates virtually. Yes, there is a Google Calendar that once that is all filled in, we will share the link with you for that. And if I forget if it's on the website, it's the same one that we've used from years past. So we will get that to you. It does not matter if you use Apple Mail or Outlook for your email. The medical forms, I want to say, let me double check the website. I believe they're on the website. Hold on. I want to say they're under student life maybe. They're around here somewhere. Medical forms. Okay, is this it? Okay. Yeah, if you, on the Bergen Catholic website, if you go to athletics and click on medical forms here, you'll come to this webpage. And then if you click on where it says Bergen Catholic physical packet, you will get to this packet, which has all the information about physicals. Let's see. Emma did that one. Can students do homework after? Yeah. The school really doesn't close. The question is, can students stay after dismissal? I honestly, there are kids here as late as 6 or 7 o'clock. No, we don't close the doors. Right at 2. So the library's open. You can sit in the cafeteria. There's plenty of spots. If you just stay after school. Can you please post the slides in the chat again? The slides for tonight, I sure can. Let me find that. I think this might be the most questions I've ever had on a Tech Tuesday, which is absolutely phenomenal. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I get paid for. Yes, students keep it. Thank you, Eamon. You keep your devices. I just put the slides up there. Homeroom starts. There's a question about what time do you have to be in homeroom each morning. The school day starts at 7:55. Right? 7:55 doesn't mean driving into the parking lot. 7:55 means you're in your desk for your first period class, ready to go. Okay. I will tell you this, and when I do expectation, I'll talk about it some more. But Oradell Avenue can get busy. If you get here before 7:30, you're in good shape. Generally, you get in and out. There's not a problem. Once the buses start pulling in, once the seniors start pulling in, there's traffic, right? So, if you're new, you'll have to experiment a little bit on time, but you have to be in your first period class, in your desk at 7:55. Okay. Yeah, sometimes there's traffic. So leaving early to make sure that you miss that is really important, right? I'm just trying to keep up with the questions. Let's see. After seeing it, we answered that one. Uniforms, you generally have to, if it's not so much a uniform, when you're in dress code, when you're wearing the shirt and tie during the winter, that you can get from anywhere. The Bergen golf shirt is the only golf shirt you can wear that's available from the bookstore or from the school store. They don't sell books anymore. So that you can get from the bookstore on campus. So you'll start in the fall, you'll start with a golf shirt. And then we'll change to the winter about mid to end of October. We'll go to the winter dress code, which will be shirt and tie. And that's Eamon is right with the answer to that question. If you take the athlete bus, if you're talking about the Parkway bus, no, you're not penalized for being late. But the expectation is as soon as they get to school, they go right to class. That's not, they don't have a grace period to go and do business. The only thing the grace is if they have to go to the bathroom. That's it, and then they need to go to class. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I thought I did. Uniforms, I got that. What time is early release? And thank you for the calendar. You're welcome. Early release once we start activity period towards the end of September. Well, the school day always ends at 2 o'clock, 7:55 to 2. If we have a half day, it's a 12:05 dismissal. But the school day always ends at 2 o'clock, regardless of if it's an activity day or if it is a regular day. Okay. How will using it is a school directive that you use your BC Apple ID. Okay. Some of you are asking me about personal Apple IDs. It's if your device gets lost, okay, that's a problem. And I can't help you if you're using a personal Apple ID. I can help you if you're using your Bergen Catholic Apple ID. There is no need to go to Flynn and O'Hara. The golf shirts are sold in the bookstore. I should know, and I apologize. I don't what Mr. Powers' hours are. Eamon, remind me tomorrow to ask him, and then we could put something out if need be. I don't know if something's been shared about the hours when the bookstore is open. Okay, 8 to 1 for the bookstore. Thank you, Eamon. Solves that problem. Golf shirts online. Yes, you can purchase them. I want to say Mr. Powers does send if you purchase online. Certainly the easiest way is to come in and get them, but if you have to purchase online, I believe you can do that. But that's a question for Mr. Powers. That's all right. I get paid by the question. It will be, at the moment, don't quote me this, in the past we've dismissed at 11. We've done 8 to 11 for the freshman orientation. So I don't know. I haven't seen yet what we're doing for this year, but generally it's been 8 to 11. Okay. Any other questions that I could answer? Any word on busing? I'm not sure the answer where that question's going. I am going to put Mr. Santoli's email in the chat. He is our transportation coordinator, and he will be able to answer questions about busing. I do plan on. We've got 2 more Tech Tuesdays, the 22nd and the 29th. And certainly, if you call the main office between 8 and 1 Monday through Thursday, if you have questions, we can answer them or find somebody who can answer them. Okay. Sometimes with vacations, the right people may not be in, but generally somebody can answer a question if you have one. So please don't, if for some reason you don't think of something tonight, you could always drop an email to me, drop an email, as the dean, you can email, Mr. Santoli for transportation, Mr. Powers for the bookstore, Mrs. Walter for Student Success Center. So, yeah, we're here to help you. We're here to answer questions. I get that it's a little bit of a stressful time getting ready for the first day, but our job is to try and make it as easy as possible. Hopefully, God willing, yes, next week I will tell you how to submit that summer work. I'm not quite nervous yet about it, but hopefully next week, if for some reason I can't, then we'll come up with another game plan. But yeah, no, I'm hoping it's by next week. Yes, and you'll know once I know. Other questions? The district code for Paris School is FFJC. I'm putting that in the chat. FFJC. 99% positive that's right. Let me double check. Before I tell you a falsehood, I'm almost positive. Let me look on this monitor. It's positive FFJC. District info, I think it's here. Nope. I swore it was FFJC. Try FFJC and see if that works. I'm almost positive that's what it is. Yeah, try FFJC. And if not, we'll have to email the help desk because I don't have it in front of me. I'm almost positive it's FFJC. Okay, good. That's it. Other questions I can answer for anybody? All right. Well, folks, thank you for coming on. I'm glad it was helpful in a number of ways. We'll send out a note with the recording once I clean it up, process it, and get it up on YouTube. Our next one is August 22nd, and I will get information out about Blackboard once I have it. You'll have it. Certainly, anything in between, reach out if you have any questions. But with that, I bid you a good night. Thanks for coming, and never a nuisance. And we'll see you next time. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.